it's Amy, the Skin and Lash Lady, licensed esthetician, permanent makeup artist, and eyelash extensionista. Today we're going to be talking about marionette lines, or as I like to call them, my Howdy Doody face. So if you remember Howdy Doody, then we're in the same age category. So the marionette lines are these lines that are right here, and everybody has them differently. They are what they are. So we're going to use microcurrent to help reduce them. I have so many clients that come in and they have their lines and they go, Amy, I want to put an injectable there. And I'm like, no, wait, like we don't want an injectable there. It actually happens because if I was younger, let's do a little facelift on me, I was probably more like this. And as I'm aging, my fat pad is slipping here. Now, some people get them because they also have a lot of fluid. Some people have always had them and their face can thin out and they see them more. There's many different reasons of why and how we age. So I use my microcurrent and I'm going to focus on that area. So if you follow me today, hopefully I can give you some tips and tricks using your mini microcurrent, and I'll go over that whole area. So the first thing that's important with microcurrent is you need to be hydrated. So if you've been drinking coffee or tea all day, when my clients come in, I hand them an 8-ounce bottle of water and they have to drink it all down. And it's super important afterwards to continue drinking water. And there's a few reasons why. Microcurrent, first of all, any electricity, it needs water to get dispersed where it needs to be. And microcurrent, even when we finish the session, it's still working and moving and detoxifying the area. And it needs to have water to be effective and to flush out anything that was bad that like it's detoxifying. So always make sure that you are properly hydrated. So I always tell clients, don't come right after hot yoga or the gym. You need to make sure that the body is all cooled down and is properly hydrated. We need to wash our face before. I know some clients will say, but I washed my face this morning and I haven't done anything or put anything on it. We want freshly clean skin, but we also want to be cleansing our skin simply because we want to create some circulation and we want to do lymphatic drainage. And if you've seen some of my videos, you see I'm always doing movements to get the fluid out of my face. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have any fluid. Everybody has some fluid that retains in their skin. And as we get older, we tend to have a little bit more. And it's also good because we want to flush that out because we don't want the microcurrent, we don't want to have any impediment. We want to make sure it gets to where it needs to go. So lymph is not like having water in the skin. So we want the lymph to be moved out. So I'm going to show you how to use the mini as well to do that. So I always have my little ramekin of regular tap water because tap water conducts electricity. I plug my mini into my power ad here. The mini has a USB connection on it. I have my MoisturGlyde that I use, and I'm going to show you how little you need, and if it becomes tacky or sticky, that's what we need the water for. We don't need to apply more gel, we just need more water on it. And today I'm actually only going to use my Viktoria DeAnn Pepti-tone. People say, why aren't you going to use Lift? Tone, besides that it helps to relax the wrinkles, tone also helps to tone the muscle. So I'm going to use that. So my skin has been cleansed. I used my Glymed Daily Wash, which has I think like 10% glycolic acid in it, so my skin is nice and clean. Now, a few things about cleansers. If you use an oil-based cleanser or a cleansing balm, you're going to have to do a double cleanse with the secondary cleanser to remove any of that residual oil or anything that the balm can leave behind, because microcurrent does not penetrate through any oil. And remember, not all products are meant to be used with microcurrent. So clients will always say, I'm using something and I'm not getting the result, or I'm getting an irritation. So we don't use microcurrent with vitamin C, and we don't use microcurrent with products that have any sort of oil in them or a fatty acid in them, because it's going to block the microcurrent. So we want to work smarter, that's all. So if you're ever in doubt with the product, just don't use it unless you specifically know it's made for microcurrent. So these peptides from Viktoria DeAnn work wonderfully with microcurrent. So I have my MoisturGlyde. Now let's see if I can pump out the smallest amount. So how much is that? Maybe like a little less than a dime. So I don't need a lot of MoisturGlyde. I only need my glide. I'm going to add water on top because it does help the unit slide. We don't want to be tugging at the skin, and it helps to disperse the current throughout the skin. So even if I'm working on one area, it goes to other areas. So what the movement we're going to focus on is this movement. So if you have your little booklet that your mini came with, it's this one here. It's movement number 4. And you can see it starts from the nose area and it goes up to the ear. So I have to remember I got to take out my earrings. We don't want to have jewelry on when we're doing a microcurrent because it also can impair the microcurrent from getting in. So my earrings are off. I have no jewelry on. I'm going to plug in my mini. This mini is the Amethyst, so it's purple. I don't know if it shows up as purple on here. I do have to wet this area. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do lymphatic drainage. So I just take my mini and right here, I'm just going straight down to my collarbone. No fancy movement, even on the skin. I don't need to worry about the beep. It already beeped. It's on. Remember, the unit, once it's plugged in, it's always producing its current. And I'm just going to do 4 or 5 movements right down. And you would do that on both sides. But another thing you can do is, and I do this in the morning when I'm cleansing, is I just take my middle finger and usually my pointer finger, and I just do little circles right here as well, and I'll bring it down to my neck. So that's another option if you want. So if you feel a little pain when you're pushing on this, that usually means that you have fluid in that area. Not necessarily, but that can happen. So now we're going to start. I'm going to start on this side because I've done this side a few times already today because I've been demoing a lot. So I put it on. And I'm going to actually do it this way. Hold on. And I just move it across and up into my hairline. And I'm just going to hold it for the double beep. See, so a double beep. Now, because I was short, I'm going to let it hold a little bit longer and do a second round. Simply because I'm asking this muscle to pull up a lot. So I want to, there, so 2. And I go back again. And as you can see how it's even on my skin? See how it's even? I'm not holding it like this. I'm not holding it with the plastic on, the casing on it. I'm not on 1. I have 2. It's very even. I'm right at the center of my ear. I can be a little bit higher if I want to. Don't pull down. Remember, we want to be perpendicular to my skin. I'm going to wait for the double beep. I'm actually on my ear right now. Pretty much. It should beep in a minute. Or shut my unit off. It's not going to beep because I unplugged it. How about that? Huh? Let's do that again. Here goes my beep. I'm going to hold it right there. I'm not putting pressure, like a little bit, but I'm not heavy on it. And then I'm going to go down. Same thing. This is my left hand and my left side, so I'm right-handed. So, and then right here. And this is going right to the bottom of my earlobe. I'm just going to hold it there. And then this one, I start at the center of my chin and I go back. And I'm going to hold it, just like it shows in the booklet. But sometimes I like to do it this way as well. I can turn my unit. I'm going to hold my unit upside down. Remember how it has this natural curve? That reminds me that it's always moving up. We always want our movements up. So I have it on and I'm going to go right like this. And see how it naturally curves up when I hold it like that? When I do it this way, I am breaking it down into a smaller area. So I can put a lot more microcurrent in the area. So a lot of times I will put it this way and move it around. And I also can hold it longer if I need to. If I have a client that has a super heavy cheek or they're not getting a result, many times I'll have them, when they go here, instead of releasing once, I'll just have them hold for another cycle. You know, everybody's face is different. Everybody responds to microcurrent different depending on your health, you know, its overall health. There's a lot involved. So it takes time. You know, just takes time. And then we do it again right along my jawbone. See, I'm right up to my ear. So that was 2. We did the first one. That was, now I did the whole face a second time. Now I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to go back to the same way that I did it here. And I'm just moving it. And I'm pulling a little up. So if you're feeling drag on it, it's usually because your skin is too dry. We always want it to go smoothly. Sometimes, see, like I'm moving my head right now, just so you can see how I'm even on the skin. It's really important, like be really mindful that you're even on the skin. This is the area where I always feel it because I have metal braces in my tooth. It's not going to harm it, but a lot of people will feel it if you have a lot of fillings, this movement. I'm right at my ear, and then once again right here. And that's how we start working on the marionette lines. Super easy movement. And like I said, I like to do that alternative. And like everything else, at the beginning, I always tell everybody, do your microcurrent like 7 to 10 days in a row if you've never done microcurrent before. Oh, my alarm went off. Microcurrent before, because we want to catch the skin. We want to get the skin in shape. And what that does is it activates something called the Krebs cycle. And a Krebs cycle releases energy. And at the beginning, if you're just dormant, like it's like being a couch potato. Like your face is a couch potato. And it takes a while to get that Krebs cycle working properly. So when you come in and do your microcurrent once, and you're of a certain age, and you don't catch the cycle, and the Krebs cycle goes up, the ATP goes up, and then it comes down, and it comes down usually like, could be 24 hours later. Now when you're working, and you got to keep pulling it up to the cycle. So at the beginning, when I tell everybody, do your microcurrent, the full routine that's in the booklet, every day for a minimum of 5 days. If you do it 10 days, that's great, because now it's going to keep that Krebs cycle up, and we're working in the better zone. So Krebs cycle is a chemical reaction that releases energy. And if we can be working in that higher zone, we're prepping the skin a lot better. So if we're working like this and then we're dropping off and we only do it at the beginning once a week, we're not going to be catching the skin at the optimal place it needs to be. So it's all about, like I said, working smarter. So I always say the first 5 to 10 days is important. It's kind of like boot camp. And then you want to maintain and always work in that cycle. So depending on your age, if you're like me, I'm 58 when the time making this video, I would have to do a minimum of 2 times a week, maybe even 3. I have a lot of microcurrent in my skin, so it responds well. But my older clients, I have to tell them the minimum would be 3 times a week. But I don't do the microcurrent every single day after that initial prepping period, simply because I personally believe that you need to give that muscle a break. So you may want to work one day on the marionette lines, and the next day you may want to work on your neck or your eye area. You have to work it that works best for your skin, and also what works in with your schedule. I'm a practical person, so I tell clients, yes, there are some days you can't sit and spend 40 minutes working on your whole face, but you may have 20 minutes and you can work on that one area and get it going. So I do sometimes suggest to clients that if they have 10 minutes in their day, they could just work on that one area, whether it be the marionette line or the eyes or that one area, to start getting it into shape. But even bodybuilders give their muscles a break. So I do believe that the face needs a break as well. So then people always ask, Amy, I just did my whole routine. What do I need to do because I have all this gel on me? I have so little gel, I leave it on for the rest of the day and I'm good to go. But if it bothers you, just wash it off. You're not going to wash off your peptide. Put on your moisturizer, put on your sunblock, or put on your makeup, whatever you need to do. There's no harm in just washing off your gel. Like I said, you can't wash off the peptide. It's already in the skin. But like me, unless it really bothers me, I just leave it on. I'll put on some moisturizer because the gel does have hyaluronic acid serum on it, and I want to keep it. But it's a personal preference. Either way is not going to be harmful do what's comfortable and best for you. So that's it. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for subscribing. I'll put links below to where you can find any of these products. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, or join my Facebook group of Wash Your Face, and you'll be the first ones to learn about any promotions or specials that are coming up. So until then, wash your face.